Optimism to me has always been a big part of who I am because I'm like almost annoyingly optimistic. People will be like, dude, it's not gonna happen. Like, yeah, you never know. I always try to be really optimistic because growing up as a kid, from the time when my parents got first divorce and then going through that at like 9 or 10 years old, have to kind of figure shit out. Your parents are splitting up, shit's not the same. Dad's alcoholic, drinking, in and out of jail. And so then you just have to try to find like good things that are like worthwhile to focus on rather than what's actually happening. And so it's like, okay, we need to find some good in this scenario. We need to find some good in the fact that, hey, my parents are split up. That means I have 2 houses now. I have 2 bedrooms. I have 2 different things. I've got video games at dad's. I've got video games at mom's. I've got 2 Christmases now. So it's just like trying to look at the positive things is what I've always tried to focus on. I was probably like 14 or 15 years old. No, maybe 16 years old. My little sister got cancer. She was swimming in the pool one day, just cruising along, just swimming. Started screaming. She's like, ah, my shoulder hurts. I've got so much pain in my shoulder. Took her out of the water. My family did. And then they were like, all right, let's go to the ER. Let's go see what's up. So I stayed home because they're like, you don't need to come. It's just probably just hurt her shoulder or something like that. But then a couple hours go by, I get a phone call from my stepdad. He's like, hey, I got bad news. Trista has cancer. And I'm like, are you serious? Yep, she's got cancer like the size of it was like they said like an orange or like a grapefruit in her shoulder. She was like 9 or 10 years old at the time when this happened. So she went through chemotherapy. Then she eventually had a surgery where they removed most of her scapula. And at this point in time, like right as the surgery was about to happen, the Make-A-Wish Foundation reached out to us. That's when she got to make a wish. And one of her wishes was to go up to Canada and hang out in the Arctic Circle and go see polar bears out in the wild. Part of that was like we got to do this one last big hoorah family experience because we didn't know what was going to happen before the surgery. And so we got to go do this and experience that. And so it was really awesome bonding with her and my family and just like that moment that we shared together. That was really cool. No matter what was going to happen at the time, I was just focusing on, all right, here's the good things that are happening. And then after she had the surgery, she still had her arm. One doctor wanted to take her arm off. I was like, dude, so here's some positive sides of having this, okay? Some doctors wanted to completely remove it. And my mom was like, fuck that. We ain't doing that. We found a doctor who's like, we'll just remove the shoulder. And so she still has her arm. I was like, good news, Trista, you still get to have your arm. It was her dominant arm too, her right hand, so you could still write. You got to go see polar bears. And now after the fact, it's just made her like a much more resilient person going through this experience at such a young age. Then she got to go to all these summer camps, just do so much fun shit that I never got to do as a kid. And I'm like, there's a lot of cool shit that you get to do from having cancer, like very life-changing, very traumatic. But at the end of the day, look at how much different your life is compared to like my life or my other sister's life. Like she got to do all these crazy experiences and now she's in school. She's gonna be a therapist and she's gonna work with kids and families who have undergone divorces and addiction problems and children who've had sicknesses. So now she's like giving back. And so like she went through this experience so she can now give back. And it sucks that you can't do a push-up, but at the end of the day, you still have your life and now you have this the foundation of who she is as a person. If she can go through that and she can still deal with this, because anytime I think like something's not going my way, I just kind of like to look and see how other people have things. And I was like, shit, she can't do her shoulder. Like I wouldn't be able to look this how I look right now, which, you know, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, but I wouldn't be able to look this way I look if I didn't have both my shoulders, you know, and she's still in good shape despite the fact that she can't do a push-up, she's limited mobility, but she's still like a badass chick. It's just brought a lot of inspiration to me and just seeing like how hard things can make your life better in a way. It added to her personality, added to her character, added to her future, her career. I think there's just a lot of positives that came from it. Well, I focus a lot on being healthy at this point in my life. So that's a big thing to me because I have a lot of unhealthy people in my family. I have cancer, obviously, in my family. My dad actually just got done going through cancer. He had bladder cancer. And so now I focus a lot on what I eat. I focus on the sugar intake. I focus on making sure I stay healthy and go to the gym. And then just being part of a family that has been split up multiple times has definitely had an impact on me because I've never been part of a real ride or die kind of situation. I never knew what it was like to have somebody just relentlessly have your back, like no matter what. It's kind of shaped me as a person, but now I'm married to my wife, Sarah, and she has this ride or die mentality, and it's what attracted me to her was the fact that she's there for me no matter what. She's got your back no matter what. She'll freaking punch somebody in the face if it needs to happen. And those are all things that I had to learn. I didn't know how to be that kind of person. And so just like seeing things that I didn't have growing up has made me gravitate towards things that I want now. So having a ride or die person, having really good health. As a kid, I was fat. So now I never want to be fat again. I don't want to have cancer. I don't want to deal with these negative issues. So I'm trying to like do everything in my power to make make sure that I have the best case scenario possible. But I can see lessons for left and right and behind me and backwards, like of all these things that have happened to all these other people, and I really take those into consideration when trying to move forward. There's a lot of life lessons as to why we're like how we are. Like the reason why I think I'm very adventurous has a lot to do with what I've seen growing up, and I've seen people die. I've had close friends next to me die. You never think something bad's gonna happen to you, but you think, oh, that's gonna happen to that guy. And then it gets closer to you and you go, oh shit, that person just died. He was like one of my best friends. And then, oh shit, my sister has cancer, my dad has cancer, my parents got split up, you know, like all these things happen. I just kind of take a look at that and I go, man, I only know for a fact that they have one life. I hope to God that I get another one. And I'm gonna make damn sure that this one counts, and I'm gonna see everything that I can see. I'm gonna go everywhere that I can go because I wanna see it all, experience it all, feel it all, do it all, everything that I can. I just wanna live life to the fullest. I think it kind of comes down to when my mom had me. She was a young mom. She had me at like 20 years old, and she told us as kids growing up, don't have kids when you're young. Go out adventurous, go have fun. Because we kind of grew up with her. She was still a kid herself when she had us, and so she was still experiencing life. And so she was taking us out camping, going places, like going to the beach, just like trying to put us in different scenarios that she always wanted to do. And so I think that just kind of stuck with me. And so I just have like this unsatisfiable craving for adventure. I've traveled a lot of places throughout the world, and I have like a bucket list of 100 more places that I want to go to. So just adventure is just like something, it's the reason why I wake up. It's the reason why I'm standing here, is because this is an adventure. I'm gonna meet new people. I'm gonna have new experiences. I'm gonna go new places. And it's just all adds up to like this adventure that I call my life. You take a lot of risks. I mean, hopping on an airplane, just the other day, there was a Delta flight that landed in Ohio or North Carolina or something like that, and the front wheels didn't pop out. So they just nosedived onto the runway. I fly all the time for my work. I fly all the time when I travel. And you take a risk every single day when you leave your house. I mean, you gotta take risks. If you don't take risks, you're never gonna do anything. Honestly, sitting at home on the couch doing nothing, that's a risk. Because you're gonna get fat, you're gonna get lazy, you're not gonna do anything, you're not gonna have a meaningful life or meaningful experience. So it's just like, everything's a risk, man. So you might as well just take some risks that you enjoy taking. Like, do shit that you like to do. If you can dream it, just freaking do it. Because like I said, you only get once, you only get one shot at this. And so it's just being adventurous and taking risks, man, you got to. Okay, so like when I was a kid, I was fat and I was just like afraid. I'll be the kid in the pool with the shirt still on, you know, like I was that fat kid. But I wasn't really like morbidly obese or anything. I just, you know, had little titties and I was like, I don't like this. And I was like, okay, I don't want to have titties. So I got in a little bit better shape, but I still had like a beer belly. And then I was like, well, I can still get chicks and I can still find a girlfriend. And so like I'm likable enough. And so like I'm cool with this. I don't really need to be like in super tip top shape. I don't need to be buff. I don't need to be healthy. But then as I've gotten older and I've realized that there's one thing that I've seen over and over again, especially with the introduction of social media, is that if you can get into the best shape of your life, everything else is gonna follow. You're gonna get the chicks, you're gonna get the jobs, you're gonna get the money. People are gonna wanna look up to you. You're gonna feel better, you're gonna look better, you're gonna go more places, you're gonna do more things. Like, it's just a fact. Like, when you're in better shape, you're gonna have better opportunities. That's why I prioritize my health for like 1,000 reasons. It's gonna help me in every single aspect of my life. I feel like I still am getting a hold of time. The more organized that you can be, the more strategic you can be with your time. But every single day that I wake up, I never have enough time. If I sleep 6-7 hours a night, it's not enough time throughout the day. Just no matter what you do, there's not enough time. And the days go by quicker and quicker as you get older, which sounds like an old man talking, but it's freaking true. You've heard your parents, you've heard your grandparents say it, just time goes by faster. It does as you get older. Cause I think you just have more going on and you're just pulled in all these different directions. Cause like, you're like, shit, man, like I see people dying around me. I gotta like do something, make sure I'm productive today. I've gotta make sure I tell my family that I love them. I've gotta make sure that I make enough money. I wanna go experience this. And so you just don't have enough time in the day. And so like me taking advantage of my time really just comes down to like learning how to schedule and organize your things throughout your week. Looking at your view from week to week rather than day by day is a game changer because you can plan things out. And it's really kind of, for me, it was difficult to do. And I'm still trying to master this, like planning out your months, planning out your weeks. But the more that I've done it and the better that I've gotten at it, the more I'm like, okay, this makes so much more sense. You can get so much shit done because there's so much time in the month if you just delegate it properly. Traveling is, okay, number one, I like history. I believe if you want to be able to predict the future, you've got to look at the past. For me, just seeing, I'm fascinated with ancient cultures, ancient civilizations. And so like, I like to just like imagine what life was like, imagine how it's changed and see like where we're going in the future. Cause I'm always like plotting and scheming because I have like a goal of where I want to be at in, 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. And so traveling for me, just number one, it brings me joy because I love seeing new places, exciting places. It's adventurous. So traveling around to the Caribbean, for example, has completely changed the way that I think about what's possible. Because to me, life is really just about the views. And when you're in the Caribbean, you can have a view from the beach. You can stay at a nice little resort for a couple $100 a night and enjoy the beach and enjoy the Caribbean. Or you can spend a few $1,000s a night. You can have a private chef, you know, the whole staff there, like 10 people running around doing everything for you on your own private beach with the infinity pool overlooking the ocean and all the toys you want to play with. That's a few $1,000s a night. Or you can spend, you know, a couple $10,000 a night and you can have a yacht and you can be looking back at the island as you're cruising by. Just seeing all the different ways that you can experience the Caribbean gives me like goals of where I want to see it from, because there's a whole bunch of different views. And just seeing the Caribbean, there's so much money down there because things get destroyed by hurricanes and they get rebuilt, and it's just freaking cash. It's just millionaires and billionaires down there buying islands, building their dream vacation homes, sailing around with yachts. Like, I saw the owner of the Jaguars, the NFL team, I saw his yacht. It must have been like a 300-foot yacht. It was the biggest yacht I've ever seen in my entire life, and I saw like my dream yacht next to this thing, and I was like, oh fuck. Even if I achieved my goals, I'd be broke as hell compared to this guy. And so I'm like, where do you want to be? Do you want to be the yacht with the helicopter pad, or do you want to be the yacht with the little dinghy off the back? I mean, both are great, but there's definitely levels to the views. I just love being down in that environment in the Caribbean because there's just so much money, so many people down there hustling. Like, everybody's from all over the world comes there because it's the most beautiful waters in the world, the most beautiful scenery in the world, at least I think it is. Italy has inspired me because I look at what a once great empire was. Like, you can look back in time and see, like, when Julius Caesar was ruling Rome, one of the pinnacles of Rome, right? It was like at its greatest. The Colosseum was there. It's like our modern day society right now. You just see like the ruins of it. Like, what happened? Like, how did that empire fall? It was one of the greatest empires in the entire world at one point in time, one of the largest. They had like all of Europe and parts of Africa conquered. Like, it was all Rome, like it was all Italy. And now they're gone. They're down to like a little circle on a map. And so I just kind of look at that and I think, what's going to happen to the United States? What's going to happen to Russia? What's going to happen to China? Like, who's going to be the power that lasts? Is there going to be a power that lasts, or is it all cyclical? If you look back at history, it's mostly cyclical. The English were in power, the Spanish were in power, the Italians were in power. Now the Americans have been in power for 100 years or more. I don't know exactly how long. We've been in a pretty damn good position for a while, but now you got China, you got Russia. Is it their turn to come up? I don't know. And so I look at Italy and I just see the ruins of an empire. It's fascinating to me. Anywhere you go in Italy, they have the best freaking coffee. They give it to you. They don't give you in a little Starbucks cup. First of all, there is no Starbucks in Italy. Like, there's none. I've looked. And even if I did go, I wouldn't go because it's trash compared to all the Italian coffees. And they give you like a little cup. It's all like glass cups. It's like nice shit. It's not like you order a to-go cup and take it with you. You sit down, you have your coffee, you have a little pastry. It's more like relaxed. It's like a peaceful time. So anytime, like when we're over there walking around, Sarah and I, like we get tired, like let's hit the coffee shop, have a little espresso, get some energy, and just cruise back around and see the ruins left of Rome. That's what I really like about Italy. The history, the coffee, and just the scenery. What inspires me, or what I do right now to make sure that I'm gonna end up on a beautiful yacht in the Caribbean or a beautiful mansion overlooking the water. What I'm doing right now is I'm focusing on building up my business, and I'm being strategic with the kind of business that I wanna build up, because I don't wanna put myself into a job. If I have to show up 7 days a week, it's not gonna work out. You're never gonna be able to be on a yacht in the Caribbean. That's just a fact. So you have to be able to create a business that you can kind of step away from and it can still function without you. So I'm focusing on building a business that can function without me, and a business that can generate residual income, passive residual income, where like I don't have to be showing up to work every day. I don't have to be micromanaging people. I just want to have a business that, number one, can be passive. Number two, generate me enough income to be able to afford the yachts. So I'm making sure that I'm in a position that's scalable, a position that can reach my goals of having a yacht, of being in the Caribbean, of owning one of these beautiful places. So I'm just making sure that the business that I'm getting into is going to allow me to live the lifestyle that I want to have.